I am so happy to be out here this morning. At Effect Fitness, they are a great fitness business in my community. It's great to be here this morning and just being out here without a mask and being able to get ready for the race for Juneteenth. Here we are at Effect Fitness. We're giving them a proclamation in terms of the celebration of Juneteenth and what it's all about, but also just again being out here and what they do.
Yeah. Keep going though. Let me see your shoulders. I don't know what y'all came here to do, but everybody stop. Put your left hand behind your head. Right knee. Let's go.
This is Juneteenth commemoration. You know, it's a day for us to recognize that misinformation is not a good thing, but we're going to celebrate the good times and we're going to celebrate advancement. And African Americans are awesome being celebrated today. Fitness is important, and so I'm so happy to be here with my colleague Joy Shepard and her district celebrating a day when we're coming together for fitness, for commemoration. This is a great day in Council District 12. There you go. Thank you.
Well, we are here because we are celebrating 10 years of the existence of Jenny Drake Park. And I'm so proud to be here as council member who represented this district. Miss Jenny Drake, who the park is named after, lived next door. She would call my office almost every other day. If a leaf fell off a tree in this park, she would call. And she was always a great caretaker, and so it's a great story. Today, the proclamation, of course, is celebrating 10 years of this park, but it's also great that it is the Juneteenth celebration, because we're celebrating not only that enslaved African Americans were freed, finally, when they had already been freed 2 years ago, but it's also freeing up this community to have a wonderful, lovely, green space where they can come and commune with nature. So all of it comes together for the good.
The Atlanta City Council adopts legislation to anticipate and appropriate funds awarded to the city from the American Rescue Plan Act, a federal relief package approved by Congress and signed by President Joe Biden in March. The American Rescue Plan is one of the largest economic rescue packages in our nation's history, which included providing $1.9 trillion in relief for state and local governments and hard-hit industries and communities to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Council approves legislation authorizing a 2-year contract with a 1-year renewal option in an amount not to exceed approximately $5.4 million for DeKalb Avenue safety improvements, including resurfacing, replacing damaged sidewalks, and installing new signage. The Council greenlights an ordinance transferring $1 million from the city's fiscal year 2021 general fund to the Capital Finance Fund to pay for streetlight installation and improvements to increase the city's streetlight footprint with a focus on areas with high rates of traffic crashes and crime. The Council approves an ordinance authorizing an encroachment agreement with the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame to grant the right to install the Walk of Fame in the public right-of-way along Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. For more recently approved legislation, please visit our website, citycouncil.atlantaga.gov. This has been your Atlanta City Council Legislative Minute. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Stay at Home Connect. I'm Phyllis Jackson. Dr. Anthony Fauci is warning against the spread of a highly contagious, more severe form of the COVID-19 variant that was first detected in India.
In the UK, the Delta variant is the rapidly emerging as the dominant variant, greater than 60%. It is replacing the B117. The peak transmission in my conversations with and the data associated with the UK, when talking to their health authorities, the transmission is peaking in the younger group of 12 to 20-year-olds, namely that group that we're concerned about here, about making sure they get vaccinated. And as I mentioned before, there's poor protection after a single dose of either the mRNA or AZ vaccine.
During a White House briefing, Fauci said the Delta variant accounts for 6% of cases in the United States. Here in Georgia, there have been just under 20 cases reported. According to a White House task force report, Georgia ranks 45th for COVID vaccinations. Fauci says it's important for all Americans to get vaccinated. The White House has a goal of vaccinating 70% of the U.S. population by July 4th. The largest vaccination site in the Southeast closes its doors. Mercedes-Benz Stadium shut down its community vaccination center earlier this week. Over 300,000 vaccinations were administered at the center. Johnson & Johnson says it wants to extend the shelf life of its single-dose vaccine. The company is conducting stability testing. The current vaccine can live up to 3 months, longer if it's frozen.
Now, therefore, we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Atlanta, who hereby proclaim this day, May the 22nd, 2021, as Tom Murphy Day in our fair city. In witness thereof, we cause the seal of the city of Atlanta to be hereunto affixed. Congratulations.
We're here today to celebrate Tom Murphy and 40 years of his restaurant Murphy's in the heart of Virginia Highland. That's unusual these days to have a business owner, locally owned, lives in the area for that period of time. And, you know, he serves a fantastic meal. It's a place people come for baby showers, for brunches, for weddings, and he's been tremendous in giving back to the community as well. I'm just so excited that Tom says that they're back to their pre-COVID business. People are out and about. He's making it a safe place to eat. I've been back here, and it's one of my favorite places, and I hope people will get out as they feel comfortable and back into their local restaurants.
This is a great occasion to be here today. Murphy's being here for over 40 years is significant in a lot of ways. It's not just a popular restaurant, but Tom Murphy, his wife, his family, they're intricate to the community, intricate to the fabric of Virginia Highlands. You know, you can't think of this area of town without thinking about Murphy's. The food is great, the people are great, the spirits are great. And he's contributed not only by having and maintaining his business for 40 years, but he has reached out to help the least of these. He's reached out to help many charities around the city of Atlanta over that 40-year period. Just think about the people who've worked here, the people who have matriculated through this restaurant. This is the crossroads of East Atlanta. And so he has been a principled, central figure in the Virginia Highlands community, and his restaurant has expanded that, has expanded, you know, what's in his heart to all of the rest of us.
Today we're here for an unveiling. We're unveiling an urban farm, one of the biggest urban farms that will be based here in District 3. And we're here to address the food insecurities that this district has faced for decades. And I think what's so innovative about this idea is that we've partnered with Washington High School, with Greenleaf Farms. We're going to be partnering with the American Heart Association to bring together an ag STEM program that's going to cultivate new, young, fresh blood in urban farming that's going to really be focused on how we can move together as a community in addressing food insecurities within Atlanta. It is time that we take action in our own hands and we start cultivating innovative opportunities like an urban farm, like a grocery retail model where we can pipeline produce into the communities and really help lift up and support our residents.
Chastain Park is the largest park in the city of Atlanta. This is the last piece of the Chastain Park path, and it's taken over 25 years since it began, and we are here at a groundbreaking to celebrate this last piece getting ready to start. You know, the phrase, it takes a village, well, it certainly takes a village here. There have been lots and lots of organizations who have helped make this happen. I think there are over 500,000 people and probably about 250,000 dogs that use the path each year. It's an asset that is used by many, many people, from young people walking along to people on bikes to people running and exercising and folks coming after work to enjoy a stroll in the park. And the path has really been a catalyst for revitalizing the park, and so lots of park partners here today with NYO and the horse park and the pool, and it's a wonderful time to celebrate together.
So we are going to go ahead and get started. This is Councilmember Jennifer Ives. Good afternoon. It's 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday, June 30th, 2021, and this is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Finance Executive Committee. I know that I have Council members J.P. Massacate, Howard Shuck, Matt Westmoreland online. I think a few other people are logging in. Colleagues, is anybody else?
Joy Shepard.
Okay, Joy Shepard's here, and is Councilmember Archibald with us yet? We will announce her when she arrives, and I believe Mr. Dickens told me he was going to be running late. So with Massacate, Shook, Westmoreland, Shepard, and I, we have a quorum. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Ms. Kempson-Wright, can you read our remote meeting statement, please?
I'm sorry, I will read now. This Finance Executive Committee is being conducted remotely as advertised and as in accordance with the official code of Georgia 5014-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert's Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting by the following conference bridge: toll-free access 877-579-6743, conference ID 831-599-1256, which was noted on the Friday, June 25th public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, City Council, AtlantaGA.gov, or the Council's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter pages via at ATL Council. All presentations are available on the Atlanta City Council Finance Executive Committee presentation page. The agenda was published and made available on Friday, June 25th via AtlantaCityGA.rqm2.com. Public comment was accepted between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. on yesterday, Tuesday, June 29th. All persons present on the remote council meeting presentation bridge are requested to mute your phones and speakers. Additionally, speakers must be acknowledged by the presiding officer prior to speaking. Each council member is requested to open your Outlook email and minimize the screen. Amendment substitutes and informational documents were distributed to committee members earlier, and we thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
Thank you, Ms. Kempson-Wright. We do have one request for a walk-in today, and colleagues, it was in the packet, and it's Elms 24398, and it is a piece of legislation to purchase new fire apparatus across the fiscal year that starts tomorrow and the next fiscal year. So I'm going to make a motion to amend our agenda to accept that walk-in.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote on amending the agenda.
The vote is open.
Westmoreland's a yes.
All right, with Westmoreland, that's 5 yeses, 0 noes. The agenda's been amended. I'll make the motion to adopt as amended.
Second.
Let's open the vote on that.
The vote is open.
Westmoreland, yes.
All right, the agenda is adopted as amended with 5 yeses and 0 noes. We'll make a motion to approve our minutes from our last meeting.
Second.
Open the vote on the minutes.
The vote is open.
Westmoreland, yes.
All right, the minutes have been approved. 5 yeses and 0 noes. And let's do this quickly. We have 3 presentations, but we have 4 confirmations today. 3 are folks that are employed with the city, but we do have an appointment to the Civil Service Board. So let's go ahead and jump to item number 4 for Ms. Ockleberry's appointment to the Civil Service Board, so she can do her appearance, and then we'll move back into our presentation. So that would be item number 4 is 21C0084, a communication from Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms appointing Ms. Susie Ockleberry to serve as a member of the Civil Service Board on behalf of the City of Atlanta. This appointment is for a term of 3 years and replaces the expired term of Sterling Eves. And I believe that we have Ms. Ockleberry on the phone, and apologies if I am not pronouncing your name correctly. And if you would just introduce yourself and tell us very briefly why you would like to serve on the Civil Service Board.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Susie Ockleberry. I'm currently serving on the Civil Service Board and have enjoyed being of service to the citizens of Atlanta. I believe this is a reappointment to replace Ms. Eves, whose term has expired. And I'm just happy to be a part of the organization and happy to serve the city.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your willingness to continue to serve, and it's an important Civil Service Board plays a very important role for our employees. Colleagues, does anybody have any questions? If not, I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote.
Vote is open.
Westmoreland in favor.
All right, that is 5 yeses, 0 noes. This item is favorable. Thank you again for your willingness to serve. Even though it's a reappointment, I believe that the clerk will still reach out, and there may be a little bit of additional paperwork to be done, but this will move forward to our full council meeting on Tuesday, which I have every expectation will be a favorable vote by full council. And again, we appreciate your willingness to serve the City of Atlanta.
Thank you, Councilwoman and Council persons. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You too. All right, let's move back up to. You know what? Did I skip our? Did I skip section F, Ms. Timpson, right? Yeah. Can we move back up there and do our public comment, please?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Greetings, committee members and staff, and special greetings to you citizens and voters of Atlanta who have tuned to the 2021 City of Atlanta Finance Executive Committee meeting. Ben Howard, Senior Advocate, Public Policy Analyst. Speaking of finance, even though I haven't yet, it appears we're going to have to hire a high school student to show APAP exec, the Atlanta Planning Advisory Board Executive Committee, that the creation of a Citizen Participation Committee is not rocket science. It's a simple three-step process. Step one, create the committee, given the goal of enhancing citizen participation in the city of Atlanta. Then, step two, identify the citizen participation catalysts and deterrents. Step three, plan the work and work the plan. Be reminded, APAP exec, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with step one. Now let's talk finance. Let's have a talk about the NBUR 9 and why in August they don't meet and why they forced the NBUR residents to be on hiatus with them during the entire month of July. There will be no NBUR meeting in July to inform of 21C-0081 and 21C-0082 and 21C-083, appointing the Commissioner of Human Resources, the Chief Financial Officer, and the Chief Information Officer, respectively. Let's talk finance, NBUR 9. Let's talk about why none of you volunteered to help Edith Latipo present the NBUR policies as part of the Plan A version of our comprehensive development plan. Let's talk finance, NBUR 9. Let's talk about why, with all that's going on at Fort McPherson as regards Tyler Perry and T.D. Jakes Ministries, there is no report to the residents and stakeholders of Neighborhood Planning Unit or about Fort McPherson. Let's start talking finance on behalf of the citizens of NBUR. Antonita Robinson, Colton Clare, Ricardo Jacobs, Alfred White, Lynette L. Scott, Allison Hathaway, Sherry Williams. Let's talk finance on behalf of the people of NBUR.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Howard. We're going to move into our presentations. I have been told that our Department of Procurement quarterly update is going to be at our next meeting in mid-July. So let's move to Mr. DeLoach and our COVID-19 funds report.
Chair.
I can hear
you. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jerry DeLoach, Director of the Office of Enterprise Risk Management, presenting the June 21 COVID-19 funds report. The first page, page 2, is set out our reporting requirements. There is no change in that particular page. Page 3, set out concerns Ordinance 20-R-3773. The notice regarding all of the funds that have been received by the City of Atlanta thus far to respond to COVID-19. The total amount received thus far is $548,731,488.23. As you can tell from the slide 3, Police Department has received a grant. Aviation has received substantial grants of approximately $375 million. FEMA Public Assistance is $1.5 million rounded off. United States Department of Treasury, $88 million, which was the original CARES funding. United States Department of Treasury, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, We have received additional funding thus far, $20 million for that. Other fundings that have been received by grants office include HARPA, ESG, and CDBG. The next level of funding is for the airport coronavirus relief for $7 million is for airport expenses. And then the Department of Aviation has also received additional funding of $11 million for concession relief. Next page, please. The next page presents a breakdown of the CARES funding, the Coronavirus Relief Fund. We received $88.4 million. To date, we have obligated costs of $84.3 million, and we have actual costs of $79 million and available balance for $4.1 billion. There were various programs funded, including the executive offices for public health measures for homeless. And I will just go for we have available balances at. Right now, we're showing an available balance of $888,000 to assist with the homeless program. The public health measures for telework, we're showing an available balance of $964,000. We have a small amount available for public facilities measures at $143,000. For economic support, consumer grant program, which is an emergency rental assistance program, we're showing $1.5 million available for that. They received an additional allocation. We reallocated in reallocation number 3. For the support for small businesses, we had $22 million for that. All of that has been expended to date. The following amounts, we have a small amount available in PPE, and we also have a small amount that's still available for miscellaneous costs, which is associated with consultant services for monitoring and reporting. Next slide, please. The next slide is a breakdown of FAA spending. As mentioned earlier, the funded amount was $338 million. We have obligated costs of $195.6 million. We have actual costs of $195.6 million and available balance of $142.8 million. And the breakdown of those costs are displayed on the left-hand side. Personnel expenses and employee benefits, approximately $5.9 million. Consultant services, $39.4 million. Debt services, $150 million. And the total spent thus far with that FAA grant is $195.6 million. Next slide, please. The next slide displays the emergency solution grant spend breakdown. We received approximately $2.1 million. We have obligated costs of $1.267 million. We have actual costs of $1.267 million, and we have an available balance of $895,000. The breakdown, $1,230 for equipment, personnel services, $1,897, and we have subrecipients who have received $1.2 million, and total spent thus far is $1.2 million rounded off. The next set of funding is for community development block grant spending. We received approximately $4.2 million. We have obligated costs thus far of $1.4 million, and we have actual costs of $1.4 million with an available balance of $2.8 million to spend related to COVID-19 through community development block grants. Next slide, please. The next slide represents the funding received by Atlanta Police Department to respond to COVID-19. The funded amount is $1.38 million. We have obligated costs of $20,000, actual costs of $20,000, and available balance of $1.36 million related to those costs. The next slide, required by legislation 20-R-3774, requires us to report on nonprofit and philanthropic organization spend. This represents the money that the city originally invested to respond to COVID-19. There is no change to that slide. Slides 10, 11, and 12, and 13, and slide 14, as required by legislation, is an itemized breakdown of all donations received by the city to respond to COVID-19. The only change is reflected in slide number 10, which shows the fourth quarter receipt, which shows the fourth quarter of $42,000. That is the value of the donated space that we're using as an overflow warehouse for our PPE. And the last slide, slide 15, is a breakdown of all expenditures that have been expended for COVID-19. We have broken it down in terms of FY20, FY21, and soon we'll have to add FY22 to it. But if you look in the middle section, which shows budgeted expenditures, it will show all of the costs that have been expended for the various programs displayed to the far left, which includes the Children's Food Program, the Seniors Food Program, the Homeless Preparedness, the Assistance for Small Businesses, and non-departmental hourly wage earners. And if you look to your far right for funding, it will show how that funding has been broken down into our various resources, which includes CARES Act, which had $3.8 million of the funds. The state had $69,000 of the funds. FEMA was charged $5,000 of the funds, and we have a column that we call to be determined, which currently are city funds, but may be allocated to another source at a later time. If you move down to Executive Ordinance, which is the next row, that was the trust fund that was created to respond to the homeless population. That allowed us to create shelter options for the homeless community. $1.5 million of that was budgeted, and you see the breakdown for FY20 and FY21. And we will submit to FEMA, or have submitted to FEMA, approximate expenses related to that expense, and that's how we plan to recoup those funds. If you go down to COVID-19 other expenses, it covers various departments. We have broken that down in terms of internal departments, which means those are expenses that would take those were expenses related to the city and city operating efforts. And then we have external, which are all of the programs that were external programs that we had external partners. The internal includes supplies, cleaning, sanitizing buildings, food delivery, public facilities, distance learning, telework, and PPE. The expenses are broken down in terms of FY20 and FY21, and thus far it shows the total expenditures of $17.3 million rounded off. The breakdown for that is $7.1 million of that is charged to CARES, $6.9 million of that is charged to FEMA, and $3.2 million in a column that we call to be determined, which means that currently there are city funds being utilized for the purpose, but they may be allocated to another source at a later date. If you move down to the external columns, external line, that will cover most of our CRF programs, including the rental assistance, small business, homeless testing, and also of those programs that had external partners. Most of those funding expenditures occurred, not most, all of those funding expenditures occurred in FY21. It's showing approximately $52.9 million for those type of expenditures, and those expenditures have been charged to the CARES program. Okay. If you move down to the last row, that covers our hazardous expenses. Our hazardous expenses have been broken down in terms of FY20 and FY21. I'll place the focus on FY21, where we spent approximately $22 million on hazardous pay expenditures, and those expenditures will be submitted to FEMA for reimbursement. Just a note of reference, hazardous pay came to an end will come to an end on June 30th, and as a result of that, our expectation is to file a project, what we call a project worksheet, with FEMA on or about August 15th to start the process to request reimbursement for those expenses. Thus far to date, we are showing that the City of Atlanta has a total, and this is all related to, this does not include expenses, as I mentioned earlier, related to the Department of Aviation. But for the City of Atlanta, we have shown expenditures of $113,945,683.44. The breakdown for that, $79 million rounded off of that has been charged to CARES, $69,000 has been charged to the state, 29.1 represent what we will seek reimbursement from FEMA for, and there's a bucket of $5.7 million to be determined at a later date, and it shows the total revenue for those. It's $113,945,683.43, and I'm open to any questions if there are any.
All right, colleagues, does anybody have questions on the COVID-19 presentation? All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Deloche, and we are going to move on down then to our fiscal year 21 monthly general fund revenue report from Ms. Daniel. I don't think we have Ms. Daniel off mute.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. Yep.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Good afternoon, council members. This FY21 monthly general fund revenue report for the month of May is prepared pursuant to 20-R-4006, which requires that finance provide an update to the Finance Executive Committee at the second regularly scheduled meeting of each month, and reporting shall contain detailed information regarding collections for each of the general fund revenue streams and how collections compare to budgeted revenue. This presentation begins with a listing of the FY21 general fund major revenue categories and their corresponding adopted budget amounts. In total, the FY21 funded general fund budget is $687 million, which includes a $41 million supplement from fund balance. In recent months, there have been legislation totaling $6.7 million that increased the FY21 funded budget from $680 million to $687 million. These additions represent revenues related to cyber attack reimbursements and the Charitable dockless mobility program, and most of this revenue is in the other revenues category that I'll discuss subsequently. Next, a comparison of FY21 May projections year-to-date versus FY21 May actuals year-to-date, which represents 11 months of revenue activity. In total, May year-to-date actuals are $579 million, which are lower than year-to-date projections of $613 million by $34 million. May collections were $33 million. An analysis of the major factors that contribute to the overall budget versus actual variance is as follows. Property taxes has a positive variance of $1.8 million higher than budget. As of May, the city has collected 99.8% of the $232 million budget for property tax category, with $577,000 remaining revenue to collect in June to meet budget anticipation. As a side note, as of today, the city has not received the 2021 digest. The public utility and alcohol category has a negative variance of $1 million and includes 15 active revenue streams with varying cycles of receipts. The variance is spread among each of these 15 accounts, with no one account contributing materially to the overall variance. This category includes motor vehicle taxes, public utility franchise fees, alcohol excise taxes, insurance premium revenue, etc. Local option sales tax continues to trend higher than year-to-date projections by $11 million. Sales tax continues to be a bright spot in general fund revenue collections over the FY21 fiscal year. License and permit revenue is lower than year-to-date projections by $41 million. The primary drivers are slower alcohol and business license receipts. Through May, the budget for alcohol and business licenses is $61 million versus actual revenue of $18.8. Throughout the pandemic, since March of last year, and in support of the business community, relief measures have been in place and continue to be in place to suppress penalty and interest assessment in the short term. Other revenues, as I mentioned earlier, has a positive variance of $6.3 million and is a category marked by the infrequency or unpredictable timing of receipts, and includes accounts such as gain or loss from the sale of investment, interest allocations from the cash pool, interest earnings, miscellaneous receipts, and recoveries. This category has recognized revenue, as mentioned previously, from cyber tax reimbursements and recoveries, and the sale of assets for abandoned property, and other miscellaneous receipts that contribute to the favorable budget to actual variance of $6 million. Charges for services is experiencing a positive variance of $1 million. Most of this positive variance is directly related to false alarm revenue, which is trending higher at $1.3 million versus a budget of $376,000. This category also includes revenues from towing concessions, entertainment filming application fees, fire inspection fees, rezoning petitions, among others. There are 53 accounts in this major category. Fines and penalties have a negative variance of $4 million, which is primarily related to a decrease in parking fine revenues. The year-to-date May budget for parking fines is $6 million. Actual revenue is $1 million. Hotel Motel has a negative variance of $9.6 million and is directly related to the depressed demand stemming from COVID. The erosion of business, convention, and tourism activity has reduced demand, hotel occupancy, and thus results in lower room rates, which results in lower revenue. However, economists anticipate that this trend will start to rebound over the next time 6-month horizon. The last two columns compare FY20 May year-to-date actuals to FY21 May year-to-date actuals and show an unfavorable variance of $72 million. Obviously, last year's revenues as of May included 11 months of revenues that were not impacted by COVID. As such, last year's revenues through May are higher than current year revenues in May. And this ends the Finance's May revenue report, presentation, and finance yield to your questions. Thank you.
Colleagues, does anybody have any questions for Ms. Daniel? When do we expect that we'll get the tax digest?
When speaking with the Tax Commissioner's Office bulletins last week, they were in consultation with the Tax Assessor's Office to review the consolidation sheets that would have to change a bit as a result of the Atlanta Beltline SSD. We expect to hear from them very soon. I can't really say, they haven't proposed a date when we will receive them. And as a general rule, all municipalities in Fulton County receive the tax digest on or about the same day. We will keep you updated as soon as we have.
Yeah, historically, if it's not in June, is it in July usually?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I can report that the assessment notices have been mailed. So for those residents of Fulton County, you should be able to see those online and should expect them in the mail soon. But I have not received the tax digest yet, and we do keep in regular communication with the Fulton County Tax Commissioner's Office to give us an idea of when we should expect it. No word yet.
Okay. Yeah, I have heard from residents about people receiving their assessments. Interestingly, I have heard from some residential property owners that Fulton was writing down some of their fair market valuations due to some notation that was, I think, market forces, COVID related. So that's going to be interesting to get the digest and see if that was just sort of a sporadic move by the county or if they were overall changing people's valuations. But I guess we will know in the next few weeks. Anybody else have any questions for Ms. Daniel? All right. Well, thank you very much. And I'm assuming when we are next together, we might know something more about the tax digest. Before we, and as I said, we're going to hear from procurement next month. Before we move on, I do just want to say there's been a report in the news of a Atlanta Police Department officer shot in an incident. So we are sending our prayers to that officer that he or she is doing all right. And I don't know if anybody from APD or from the administration has an update on the condition, but we are all sending our prayers that the officer will make a full recovery. We are going to move into section H, which is our communications. Item number 1 is 21C0081, a communication from Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms appointing Acting Commissioner of Human Resources, Mr. Jeffrey Norman, to serve as Permanent Commissioner of Human Resources for the City of Atlanta. And we all know Mr. Norman well, but for the public listening online, Mr. Norman, will you introduce yourself and just give a little bit of background on yourself and why you would like to continue to serve as the Permanent Commissioner of Human Resources?
Good afternoon, Chairman Ide and members of the Finance Executive Committee. Jeffrey Norman. So had the distinct pleasure of serving with the City of Atlanta as a public servant for approximately the last 21 years. So I started with the city as an attorney within the law department, and have spent most of my career here at the city in that capacity, obviously having the opportunity to work in several different areas and support several different functions, and had the opportunity in June of 2019 to segue over from my role as a deputy city attorney to serve as the interim commissioner of human resources. I want to thank Mayor Bottoms for her support and for this appointment so that we can move forward and continue the work that we have begun in transforming the human resources function to ensure we continue to improve on our recruitment and onboarding efforts for potential City of Atlanta employees, and continue to make sure that we are appropriately leveraging technological resources as part of our service delivery as well. And it can't be understated that as we move toward in-person resumption of operations on next week, on July the 6th, that it'd be very important that HR is available to support those efforts. And so I'm energized and look forward to moving forward with the considerable amount of work that we still have ahead of us to make sure we continue to streamline the organization and support our clients through service delivery. And I'm available for any questions.
Colleagues, anybody have questions for Mr. Norman? All right, then I will make a motion to approve.
I'm sorry, I thought I had my hand raised. But...
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand, but Mr. Shook.
Yeah, I've been knocked off twice in the last couple of minutes. But Commissioner Norman, I asked you a couple of weeks ago to provide me with kind of the annual report, which I often ask for, and forgive me if I'm wrong or missed it, but have you sent that to me yet?
We do have the Shook report that our business manager actually provided to me today. Our HRIS section had moved forward with those personnel actions that have been approved as part of the FY22 budget adoption process. So they were waiting to have all of those transactions completed, which they did complete at the end of last week. So I will be forwarding that to you because the draft was put on, because now it represents all those transactions as well for the FY22 year as well for our authorized employee head count.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Look forward to reading it. Let me ask you this, and you've looked at the past iterations of this report, and the results of which could only be described as surreal, with only literally around, maybe 10 employees being entered in the needs improvement category, much less unsatisfactory. So what steps have you taken or are you going to take to imbue the employee evaluation process with a modicum of validity?
Okay. And that's a great question, Mr. Shook, and it's a very timely inquiry. We are actually on the front end. As I mentioned earlier, we're making sure that we are leveraging all of the technical, logical resources that are available to the city. And part of what was perceived when we did configure the ATL Cloud platform, it does contain a performance evaluation tool. And so as part of those initiatives that have been earmarked by the administration, that is one of the current opportunities that we are engaged in to make sure that we have that as a fully operational model, and making sure that we identify and the correct competencies for the workforce. And so that is something we are currently engaged with, our outside consultants in configuring and moving forward to making sure we have that available as a tool for our department, so that they can adequately, engage in that assessment program. And it is also probably timely to, let council know as well, we are also leveraging that platform to go live with the Oracle Learn module, which will allow broader scope and reach to our employee workforce, where, as part of that, in coordination with the performance evaluation cycle, managers will also be able to assign training and development opportunities to members of the workforce as well. So we look forward to moving forward with those collaborative efforts to ensure that, one, we are adequately assessing employees and making sure that we have that defined criteria set out and that is equitably applied. And, as part of the development process, making sure that we have a direct vehicle as well to track those learning opportunities and increase performance.
Okay. Well, I'm probably going to have to send out a Swiss trained St. Bernard to kind of find the answer in that. So I look forward to reading your report, and I'm going to abstain. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I had made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second, Matsuke.
All right. Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
I know Mr. Westmoreland was maybe going to have to step away. Westmoreland, are you there? All right, let's mark Westmoreland as away. So that is favorable with 3 yeses, 1 abstention. And we'll move forward to council next Tuesday. And it sounds like Mr. Norman, that Mr. Shook would just wants to make sure he has the information that he's asked for by Tuesday. All right. Thank you for being here with us today. Let's move on to our next item, which is item number 2, is 21C0082, a communication from Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms appointing Mr. Muhammad Bala to serve as the Chief Financial Officer for the City of Atlanta. And before I call on Mr. Bala, I do just want to make sure that we have all said thank you to the long service of Roosevelt Council as our CFO. Mr. Council was great to work with, and we all really appreciated everything that he did for the city as our Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Bala, again, I think everybody here on council knows you well, but for the public listening in, if you would just introduce yourself and let us know why you would like to be the CFO.
Sure. My name is Mohammed Bala. I'm both humbled and honored by this appointment and want to thank Mayor Bottoms for her support. First, I love the city of Atlanta. I look forward to continuing supporting the city that's given so much to me and my family. I'm a graduate of W.D. Muhammad High School and Morehouse College. My wife, a native Atlantan, is a graduate of Mays High School and Spelman College. We have 2 daughters that are raised here in this beautiful city, and Eden and Ava, they're future Spelman graduates as well. To give you guys a little bit more perspective about my background, after working as an investment banking and finance professional, I transitioned to the city of Atlanta about 10 years ago. And my 10 years with the city have been short of remarkable. I've worked on some of the most pressing issues facing municipalities, from pension reform to finding creative ways to address climate change. Over that time and during my time with the city, I've served as a project manager. I've served as the city's cash and investment manager. I served as a finance director in the Department of Watershed Management, and most recently as a deputy commissioner and CFO for the Department of Watershed Management. And I would just say one consistent theme during my time with the city has been the dedication and resolve of the employees of this great city. And I can truly say that, our collective success and even my success has been supported by a great team. So I look forward to bringing my philosophical approach of data-driven decision-making, collaborative and working environments, and foundational integrity to this new role. I thank CFO Council for his guidance and leadership over the years. Learned a lot from him, and looking forward to continue the positive fiscal momentum of the city, coming off of a pandemic and one of the greatest issues that our generation has faced. The city is poised well to move forward, and I look forward in supporting that transition and that success. I've worked closely with mostly everybody on council on various tasks and initiatives, and I look forward to continue that collaborative working environment that we have. Look forward to supporting this committee and help us achieve the goals and do what's best for the great citizens of the city. That concludes my remarks, but I'm free to have any questions that you guys might have.
It looks like Mr. Shook has his hand up again.
Yeah, sorry. So, Mr. Bala, who's going to be wearing the DWM green eye shade?
Mr. Shook, that announcement hasn't been made yet. I know Commissioner Browning is working closely to identifying an interim deputy commissioner, and will be posting for a permanent position as well. We're working closely to make that final determination, but as soon as it's made, communication will be made out to the council members.
Well,
and I'm here to support. So I'm not far. My phone is right there. I have a great working relationship with Commissioner Browning, and as we transition, I'm still here as a resource and a support for the city.
Okay. Now, I understand that, but 4 words: working at a class. So, Watershed's a tough job, and you did a great job. Watershed's, I think, has got the best leadership and bench it's probably ever had. That's been potentially altered now with your battlefield promotion, and I look forward to working with you as CFO. But I'm a warrior, so I'm going to be worried about Watershed's finances. All right. Look forward to working with you. I want to say hail and farewells to Roosevelt, who I have known for a long time and has done, a yeoman's duty. So look forward to supporting your ascension. Thank you.
Madam Chair, this is
Yes, Ms.
Councilwoman
Shepherd.
I also would like to piggyback Mr. Shook. Mr. Bala has been tremendous in terms of working in the watershed department. He has worked on me with many projects in my district. As a matter of fact, even though he's where he is now, he actually sat in on a meeting with me last week on a project that is a problem area in my district, but he's working on it. But I agree with Mr. Shook. I would like to know who is going to replace him. But in terms of Mr. Bala himself, I think he's done a tremendous job, and I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Fantastic.
I'll second that, Matt McKay.
Okay, let's open the vote. If there are no other questions for Mr. Bala.
The vote is open.
Let's see, Mr. Shook, it's not picking you up. Let's wait. Okay, got Shook. Westmoreland, are you there? All right, I think Mr. Westmoreland is away. So that makes it 4 yeses, 0 no's. This item is favorable, and we'll move on to full council on Tuesday. Thank you, Mr. Bala.
Thank you, guys.
Item number 3, we have another appointment. The communication is 21C0083, communication from Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms appointing Mr. Jason Sankey to serve as the Chief Information Officer for the City of Atlanta. I believe Mr. Sankey has reached out and introduced himself to everybody on this committee, but again, for the public listening in, Mr. Sankey, if you'll just introduce yourself and tell us why you would like to serve as the CIO for the City of Atlanta.
Sure, thank you. And good afternoon, Chairperson Hyde and members of the Finance Committee, and also public people that are listening in. I am Jason Sankey, and I look forward to serving as CIO for this great city. I spent 13 years as a leader in the private sector and the last 8 years in the public sector, both at the local and state level. My most recent opportunity, I served as a CIO for the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. And I must say the difference in private and public sector are drastic. But if I could go back in time and do it again, I think I would spend my entire career in the public sector, because what I learned is the give back of what you do truly impacts the lives of others. And you don't get that, at least I didn't in my private sector days. This marks my 4th week with the City of Atlanta. I'm currently in the process of analyzing the current state of the AIM organization and really learning the technology opportunities for the city. So far, I've observed we have an engaged team who is committed to supporting the technology needs of the citizens we serve. I look forward to working with everyone as we advance technology, while also keeping laser focus on making sure that we keep our technology secure. I also want to thank Mayor Bottoms for her support as we move the city's technology needs forward. And I'd like to welcome any questions that anyone may have.
Colleagues, anybody have questions for Mr. Sankey? I know I had a good long conversation with him last week, but anybody have questions?
Shook approval.
All right, I'm happy to second that. Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, Mr. Westmoreland. Oh, there we go. So this item is favorable, 5 yeses, 0 no's. Same procedure, Mr. Sankey. This will move to full council on Tuesday, but you do not need to
appear at full council for that, so she appeared here at the committee. All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Before we move to our consent agenda, just give an update of the COO, Mr. Keene, has said that the APD officer is in stable condition at Grady Hospital. So that's good news to hear, and we will continue praying for a speedy recovery for him. Ms. Kempton-Wright, will you please read do our first reads for us?
Yes, Madam Chair. Item number 5 is 21-00441, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee to amend Ordinance 20-01510, authorizing the carryover of up to 10 days of annual leave, accumulation for city employees, and the carryover of up to 20 days of excess annual leave, accumulation for public safety, Department of Public Works, and Department of Watershed Management through and including December 31st, 2021. 21-00442 is the ordinance to amend Ordinance 20-01759 to authorize the carryover of up to 20 days of excess annual leave accumulation through and including June 30th, 2022 for all city employees. Item number 7 is 21-00443, ordinance authorizing the mayor, her designee, on behalf of the City of Atlanta to waive the competitive source selection requirements contained in Article 10 of the Procurement Code to allow the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs to enter into agreements with specifically curated performers, artists, and sponsors for the 2021 Elevate Public Art Festival in Atlanta, and directing that all festival revenues and expenses be deposited and expended from the accounts listed. Item number 8 is 21-00444. It's an ordinance authorizing payment in an amount not to exceed $16,000.00 per year for a period of 3 years for a total amount not to exceed $48,000.00 from the Chastain Park Trust Fund to provide matching funds for the purposes of adding a landscape technician position to assist with the maintenance at Chastain Park. Item number 9 is 21-00445, an ordinance authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to pay outstanding invoices for SC 9187, annual contract for green infrastructure and landscaping services with Ed Castro Landscape Incorporated on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management for services rendered during the term of the agreement in an amount not to exceed $150,000.00. Item number 10 is 21-00446, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or her designee to execute such procurement agreement SP 1210219, annual contract for on-call diving services with Salmon Dredging Corporation on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management pursuant to Section 21191.1 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances for a term of 3 years with 2 one-year renewal options, retroactively effective from March 14th, 2021, and an amount not to exceed $3 million.00, subject to and expressly contingent on the approval of the fiscal year 2022, 23, and 24 budgets in accordance with Section 21163, subsection C of Article 10 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code, to ratify services rendered by Salmon Dredging Corporation from March 14, 2021 until the date special procurement agreement is executed. All contracted work will be charged and paid from the funds listed. Item number 11 is 21-00447, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the fiscal year 2022 budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations fund proceeds in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $4 million.00 in connection with the City of Atlanta Various Purpose General Obligation Bond Series 2021A and further purposes.
Thank you very much. So those will run their course and come back to us. Takes us to our regular agenda, Section J, ordinances for second reading. Item number 12 is 21-00394, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 5, Administrative Organization of the Executive Branch, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code, Article 14, Records Management, Chapter 106, Offenses and Miscellaneous Provisions, Article 1, in general, and Chapter 138, Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Public Places, Article 6, City Hall, for the purpose of changing the name of the Department of Enterprise Asset Management to the Department of Enterprise Asset Management, to amend Chapter 19E-PD-CS, Plan Development, Conservation, Subdivision, District Regulations, Part 3, Land Development Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, for the purpose of changing the name of the Office of Enterprise Asset Management to Department of Enterprise Asset Management and for other purposes. This is just really sort of a cleanup paper. Back in 2018, there was legislation that changed, that reorganized this group and made, switched it over. This is just some cleanup again of changing it to Department of Enterprise Asset Management. I'll make a motion to approve. Second by Shook. Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
This item is favorable, 5 yeses, 0 noes. Next item is number 13, which is 21-0-0395, an ordinance of Finance Executive Committee authorizing the CFO on behalf of the Department of Public Works to pay all outstanding invoices for services performed by Georgia Waste Services, Inc., doing business as Waste Management of Atlanta, for FC 5035A, annual contract for the disposal of municipal solid waste services with Georgia Waste Systems, Inc., doing business as Waste Management of Atlanta, in amount not to exceed $753,897.37. All invoices to be charged to and paid from the Fund Department, organization, and accounts listed therein, and for other purposes. This is my understanding. This is for first quarter of 2021, paying outstanding invoices. I will make a motion to approve unless anybody has questions for Public Works.
Second.
All right. Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
This item is favorable with 5 yeses and 0 noes. Next item is item number 14, 21-0-0396, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the CFO to amend the fiscal year 2021 General Government Capital Outlay Fund budget on behalf of the Atlanta Police Department by transferring to and from appropriations an amount not to exceed $350,000 for the purpose of constructing a SWAT building and for other purposes. So this is additional money for the new SWAT hut.
I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Shepherd.
So where is the SWAT building? Anybody can answer that for me? Where is it being constructed?
I believe we have Yolanda Pascal on the line. If we can unmute and get an answer from APD.
Good afternoon, Yolanda Pascal, Atlanta Police Department. I'm working to get the specific address for the hut, but it is to replace a building that is currently standing.
This building, is this like a building where they actually practice? What is a SWAT building? Is a SWAT building where they actually do practice in terms of SWAT? What is this building? I've never seen it.
This building is actually where they are based out of, so they store supplies there and equipment.
So the SWAT team is actually based in this building?
Correct.
Okay, and so are they going back in the same building, or are they going to a new spot when they're constructing it? Where is this building going to be? Can you give me the
construction on the same site?
On the same site. Okay. All right. Thank you. Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Let's open the vote.
It's open.
And this item is favorable, 5 yeses, 0 noes. And Councilmember Shepherd, we'll get the street address. I was looking to see if it was on the statement of work, but I don't see it. But we can ask APD to send that to us.
Thank you.
Item number 15 is 21-0-0397, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the CFO to amend fiscal year 21 General Fund and Capital Finance Fund budgets by transferring appropriations from the General Fund and adding appropriations to the Capital Finance Fund, an amount not to exceed $100,000 and authorizing the CFO to create the Chattahoochee Riverlands project. And I believe we have Mr. Bacon with us. If you could just tell us a little bit about this project.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Kevin Bacon. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Good. Sometimes it doesn't work that fast. Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Bacon. I am the Director of the Office of Design with the Department of City Planning. This is related to the Chattahoochee Riverlands work we started in 2018 in partnership with Atlanta Regional Commission, the Trust for Public Lands, and Cobb County. That large visionary planning process was wrapped up last summer of 2020. And paints a very detailed vision for the Chattahoochee Riverlands. What we had anticipated was starting some phase 2, more detailed planning work specifically for the City of Atlanta line of the Riverlands with our partners. That work was delayed to a certain degree with the pandemic, so we wanted to protect our matching grants, our matching funds that we had set aside for that, and are establishing this project fund for that purpose. I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Mr. Bacon, love your body of work. I'm happy to move approval.
Second, Matskai.
The vote is open. One moment.
Oh, apologies. I had myself on mute. Sorry about that. That item was favorable with 5 yeses and 0 noes. That takes us to item number 16, where I believe that we have an amendment. Let me just read the caption and then I'll tell you what the amendment does. It's 21-0398, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer on behalf of the Department of Transportation to pay all outstanding invoices to SDNC Inc. for FC 8249 annual contract for the maintenance and repair of sidewalks, curbs, driveways, aprons, and associated infrastructure for sidewalk repairs for corrective work performed along Atlanta streetcar corridor in an amount not to exceed $160,720.00. All invoices to be charged to and paid from the fund department, organizations, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. And let me just find the amendment on.
I'll move approval of the amendment, which updates the funding account.
Okay, that's all that it does. I will second that. Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
That's 5 yeses, 0 noes on the motion to amend. Make a motion to adopt as amended.
Second.
Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
Items favorable, 5 yeses, 0 noes. Item number 17 is 21-0399, an ordinance by Finance Exec to ratify services rendered in connection with Special Procurement Agreement SDS 1200559, cleaning sewage spills inside buildings and dwellings with Property Medics of Georgia, LLC, beginning January 26, 2021, to authorize the CFO to pay outstanding invoices for the period beginning October 26, 2020 through January 25, 2021, amount not to exceed $120,520.80, and to authorize the mayor who designate to execute the First Amendment to extend the term of the agreement retroactively beginning January 26, 2021 through January 25, 2022, in amount not to exceed $400,000.00 on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management in accordance with Section 2-1163, subsection C of Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the Fund Department organization and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Vote is open.
Open the vote. This item is favorable with 5 yeses and 0 noes. Item number 18 is 21-0-0400, an ordinance by Finance Exec amending Ordinance 20-0-1762 adopted by City Council on January 4th, 2021 and approved as per City Charter, Section 2-403 on January 13th, 2021 for the purpose of extending the term of Agreement FC 9445, Construction Manager at Risk for the Upper Proctor Creek Capacity Relief Project, Rodney Cook Senior Park at Historic Vine City with Astra Rotafox UPC joint venture on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to March 5th, 2021, and for other purposes. And I think they just needed a little bit more time on that contract to finish. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Let's open the vote.
Vote is open.
Item is favorable, 5 yeses, 0 noes. Item number 19 is 21-0-0401, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or designee in accordance with Section 2-1163C, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances to ratify FC 1190580 with the Fiscal Company, Inc. on behalf of the Departments of Finance and Human Resources, exercise renewal term option number 1 for a term of 1 year, effective retroactively from October 22nd, 2022 to October 21st, 2021. The amount not to exceed $39,000.00. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from accounts listed herein and for other purposes. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
Mr. Westmoreland? This item is favorable, 5 yeses, 0 noes. I will note that one that we just voted on is for the consultant that does our analysis of our OPEB benefits and liabilities. So just a reminder to people out there in the HR department listening that is of interest to council to see that analysis of where we could find some cost savings and efficiencies there. Item number 20 is 21-0-0402, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or designee in accordance with Section 2-1163, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code to ratify and exercise renewal term option number 3 for cooperative purchasing agreement for FC 10117 with Automatic Data Processing LLP for a term of 1 year, effective retroactively from May 16, 2021 through May 15, 2022, an amount not to exceed $158,415.48. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from accounts listed herein and for other purposes. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Vote is open.
Mr. Westmoreland? This item is favorable, 5 yeses, 0 noes. That brings us to item number 21-0-0403, We on 21, Ms. Kempson, right?
Yes, we're on 21.
Okay. And 21 has a substitute. Caption for 21 is 21-0403. An ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to enter into amendment number 11 to contract SC 8772 CCTV product services and installation with FC 8772A, Conversion Technologies LLC, FC 8772B, GC&E Systems Group LLC, and FC 8772, Johnson Controls Inc. for the installation of surveillance camera systems and keyless access control devices to extend the terms of the agreement on a month-by-month basis for a period beginning July 28, 2021 through October 1st, 2021, and to add funding to the agreement to an amount not to exceed $1,333,893.57 on behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation, the Atlanta Police Department, the Department of Watershed Management, the Municipal Court of Atlanta, the Department of Corrections, in accordance with Section 2-1163, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta, Code of Ordinances. All contracted work shall be charged to and paid from accounts listed herein and for other purposes. And they said there is a substitute which updates the amount in the funding accounts and removes the municipal court from the agencies that are covered. So I'll make a motion to bring forward the substitute.
Second.
Let's vote on that.
Vote is open.
All right, that's 5 yeses, 0 no's. The substitute is before us. With a motion to approve on substitute.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
Let's see, it looks like we're waiting for Councilmember Shepherd. All right, this item's favorable. 5 yeses, 0 no's. Just give me 1 second. I'm getting a couple of messages about moving some things around. So we are at 22 and okay, 22 is 21-0412, which was an ordinance by Council Member Cleta Winslow authorizing the mayor or designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute an agreement with CIM Spring Street, Atlanta Owner LLC, or its successors and assigns for the performance of build-out improvements of the property located in Land Lot 84 of the 14th District, Fulton County, Georgia, tax parcel ID 14-0084-0012-002-2, which is 185 Spring Street Southwest, for a total amount not to exceed $14,050,438.36, waiving the competitive procurement provisions contained in Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City Code of Ordinances, all amounts to be paid from the accounts listed herein and for other purposes. We were waiting for some additional information on this one. Ms. Kempson, right, instead of holding, the administration would like us to move it forward on condition of receiving the information that needs to be put in Exhibit A and the account information to Section 4?
Yes, Madam Chair, that's correct.
Okay. So there is some information missing that needs to add the term date and account information, but the administration would like it to move to full council on Tuesday on condition that we receive that. So that is my motion.
Question, why didn't we receive the information timely?
I do not know the answer to that, Mr. Shook. And I don't know who from the administration can speak to this paper. I don't believe Ms. Winslow's with us, but I don't know if somebody from the COO's office is here or somebody from Dean is here who can tell us a little bit more about this and what the delay is. I don't know, Chastain or Remy?
Well, no, I don't want to belabor this. Obviously, the administration has, it's not moved to feel like they have to provide any kind of explanation. So I'll just be a no. Thank you.
All right. Well, I have made a motion to approve on condition. Is there anybody who wants to second that?
Second, Matt.
All right. Open the vote.
The vote is open.
And I'm being told that if we wait 1 second, we can get somebody from the administration on the line to give us an update. So let's just hold the vote for a minute because I think somebody's trying to dial in.
Good afternoon, Chair Ives. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
This is Justin Johnson, Deputy Chief Operating Officer. We do have Remy Greenfield, Commissioner for Dean, on the line. I do believe, excuse me, that law was providing the information, particularly the accounting, which I believe did not come when this piece of legislation was submitted. So that was the one aspect of the legislation that we did not have prepared, but I do understand that it was sent earlier today. So we do apologize for not having that squared away before now, but we certainly would do better in the future. And Commissioner Santil, he may be on the line to give some additional context.
Yes, this is Remy Santil, Commissioner Dean. We do have the information, and we'll be able to provide that by the next council member meeting.
If just so you know, we are ready to vote on it on Tuesday. When do you think you can get us that information so that it's not being given to us right during the meeting or 5 minutes before the meeting?
We can get it today. We just have that. We provided good. We'll get it to you today.
Okay. All right. Well, the vote is open on moving it on condition that the materials are received in time for us to review them before Tuesday. So let's finish this vote and see where we are now.
Vote is open.
Yeah, Madam Chair, my vote stands. City Council, we're not extras in a middle school play. So my vote stands. Thank you.
All right, so that sounds like Mark Shook as a no, and it looks like we have not picked up Councilmember Shepard. Councilmember Shepard, are you still with us? All right, maybe we need to mark Shepherd as away. So, let's see, my screen is showing 3 yeses, 1 no, and it should say favorable on condition. It sounds like we'll be receiving that information today. My screen is still just showing, there it goes, favorable on condition. Okay. This brings us to 23, an ordinance by Council 21-0-0417, an ordinance by Councilmember Joyce Hunt Shepherd to ratify Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms' executive order declaring that the hazard pay policy applicable to frontline City of Atlanta employees working in areas necessary for the elimination or reduction of immediate threats to life, public health, or safety, and implemented pursuant to the ordinance 20-1781 shall end on July 1, 2021 at 12 o'clock a.m., and that there shall be no hazard pay accruals to occur following June 30th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. due to the availability of COVID-19 vaccines to frontline City of Atlanta employees and due to the City of Atlanta's resumption of operation of services through the return of non-mission critical employees to the physical workplace and for other purposes. I am happy to make a motion to approve. I'm sure we have Commissioner Norman here with us if anybody has questions about this change in hazard pay.
Second.
All right, then let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
I believe Ms. Shepherd must have gotten knocked off or had to step away. Oh, there she's back. All right. That is favorable. 5 yeses, 0 no's. Next item is 21-0-0418, an ordinance by Councilmember Carla Smith authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta in accordance with the provisions of Section 1-102C7 of the Charter of the City of Atlanta to accept a donation in an amount of $35,238.18 from Keep America Beautiful, Inc. for the purposes of promoting the Kroger Company Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation in-store roundup donation promotion at point of sale, amending the 2022 Solid Waste Services Revenue Fund budget by adding some anticipations and appropriations in the amount of $35,238.18 and to enter into a memorandum of agreement with Keep America Beautiful, Inc. to accept the donations and for other purposes. I'm happy to make a motion to approve.
I'm happy to second it.
Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
This item is favorable, 5 yeses, 0 no's. The next item is 21-0-0425, an ordinance by Council members Dustin Hillis, Matt Westmoreland, Amir Faroki, Carla Smith, Howard Shook, Jennifer Ide, Andrea Boone, Joyce Shepherd, Marcy Collier Overstreet, Antonio Brown, Michael J. Bond, and Andre Dickens, authorizing the CFO to amend the fiscal year 2022 budget by transferring appropriations from the city-wide reserve in an amount not to exceed $7 million and 0 cents on behalf of the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department to purchase 5 new tractor-drawn aerial fire truck apparatus and for other purposes. Mr. Westmoreland, is this ready to move forward? I know there's been a little bit of discussion around it.
No, I talked to Councilmember Hillis. I'm gonna make a motion to hold in a second, and then you've got the walk-in later today that also speaks to this topic.
Okay, so the walk-in is going to be a replacement for this, essentially?
We're going to hold it for the walk-in. Yeah, well, the walk-in is kind of like the next step in the process.
Okay.
But yes, we are definitely going to hold this for today.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'll make that. Well, assuming the vote passes, I'm going to make a motion to hold.
Second, Shepherd.
Okay, let's open the vote.
Is that for both papers, this one and the walk-in?
This is just for 25, so for the $7 million paper.
Yeah, I intend to vote in favor of passing the walk-in when we get to it.
Right. I thought the walk-in was meant to be held for the sponsor.
No, I believe.
Yeah, Ms. Shepherd, what do you know?
This is the paper that should be held, and the walk-in is a paper that will talk about a different way that we can get to the same place. So we want to hold this paper and then bring in the walk-in. I don't know if we want to bring the walk-in in now so that we don't have any confusion, but this paper should be held.
Yeah, we can let's do both of them now, and if people want to do Mr. Shook, would you like me to read the walk-in in now so we know what that paper does?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the walk-in
Let
we've accepted the walk-in, and I want to commend Mr. Hillis for taking the lead on this very important issue. I just want clarity on, how we're going about it.
Well, let me read the walk-in in first so we can talk about that one, and then we will come back. So the walk-in is in the packet all the way at the end, and I had read the Elms number at the beginning when the caption reads, a resolution expressing the Atlanta City Council's support for the City of Atlanta's plan to acquire 3 new tractor-drawn aerial fire truck apparatus and 3 new 1,500 GPM pumpers in fiscal year 22, an additional 2 new tractor-drawn aerial fire truck apparatus and 3 new 1,500 GPM pumpers in fiscal year 23 for the use and benefit of the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department pursuant to certain lease purchase agreements by which the city shall purchase, finance, and lease these apparatus on behalf of the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department and for other purposes. Sounds like somebody's got some hold music going on. I don't know who's, so that is the walk-in paper that I just read, Mr. Westmoreland. That is the paper that the sponsors and the administration are on board with moving the walk-in forward and holding item number 25.
That was my
Shepherd, is that okay?
Well, that's my understanding, but Mr. Shook, I want to make sure that he understood the same.
That's correct. And we can ask the administration if they want to come on to make a statement to that, if someone wants to talk about it from the administration, from the office.
Okay, we can do that. I mean, Mr. Shook, are you straight on this, or do you want to hear from the administration on?
Well, no, I think we seem to be headed in the right direction. I just wanted clarity regarding the 2 papers, so thank you. I don't know if there was a motion on to vote on this paper or not. I'll second it to hold.
Okay, you'll second the hold. So let's do that. Let's hold item number 25, which was 21-0425, and then we'll do the walk-in right after that. So I think it had been a motion by, I think Councilmember Shepherd had already seconded that. So the motion by Westmoreland to hold, seconded by Shepherd. So let's vote on the motion to hold.
Vote is open.
So that was 5 yeses, 0 no's to hold it here in committee. And then, Mr. Westmoreland, is your speaker button still pushed, or is that from before?
No, it is. Well, I'll talk after the walk-in. We can do that one next.
Okay. So then the walk-in that I just read, but I want to tell you let's read the ELMS number again. The ELMS number was 24398. So was there a motion on the walk-in?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, Shepherd.
Okay, let's open the vote on the walk-in. Those were 5 yeses, 0 nos on ELM 24398. That item's favorable. Mr. Westmoreland.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo Mr. Shook's comments a second ago and thank Mr. Hillis for introducing the paper last Monday that was co-sponsored by almost all of us that got us to this point, and then to the administration for working over the last 10 days to come up with the specific ladders and trucks that we need to buy and a timeline and funding stream to make those purchases. It's good stuff all the way around. So thank you, Justin, and thanks to the mayor's office.
All right, thank you, Mr. Westmoreland. Anybody else have anything on this item?
I just like to say ditto to what Mr. Westmoreland just said.
All right. Well, yes, and thank you as always to our friends at Atlanta Fire and Rescue for all you do, and happy to be taking a step forward on getting you the equipment you need to do your job safely. All right. So let me go back down.
Melissa? Hey, Melissa?
Whoops, somebody needs to be on mute.
Melissa, I wanted to call you in case I...
When 0427. I don't know if I was being muted also, but that takes us to item 26, 21-0427. An ordinance by Councilmember J.T. Massacate authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the fiscal year 21 budget and trust fund by transferring appropriations to the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs operating budget and adding appropriations to the Chastain Arts Center Trust Fund budget in an amount not to exceed $163,000.00 and authorizing the CFO to transfer the funds as listed herein and for other purposes. Mr. Matsakite, you want to make a motion?
Just move approval. Second.
All right, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, that item's favorable. 5 yeses, 0 nos. We're going to do 27 and 29 together because we're going to hold both of them. They're just kind of placeholder legislation at the moment. So 21-0428 is an ordinance by Councilmember Jennifer and Ide authorizing a donation of not to exceed blank from the Council President Carry Forward account to blank to assist various community organizations and for other purposes. And then 28 is 21-0431 and ordinance by Councilmember Cleta Winslow authorizing the transfer of blank from the District 4 Carry Forward account to the Atlanta Department of Transportation for the installation of traffic calming devices on Morris Brown Drive and for other purposes. And the sponsors of both of those have asked that they be held since my motion for 27 and 29.
Second.
So open the vote.
Vote is open.
All right, that's 5 yeses, 0 nos. Both of these items are held. 29 is 21-0429, an ordinance by Councilmember Amir Faroki authorizing a donation amount not to exceed $250 from the District 2 Carry Forward account for Midtown Neighbors Association to support the Midtown Garden Stroll and for other purposes. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, that item is favorable. 5 yeses, 0 noes. That is the end of our ordinances. So we're in section K, our resolutions. Item number 30 is 21R 3619, a resolution by Council Member Jennifer and Ide authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to refund customers for overpayments to water and sewer accounts in amount of blank, all funds to be charged to and paid from Fund Department Organization and account number 5051, Water and Wastewater Revenue Fund, 00001, balance sheet default, 1226009, refund payable, and for other purposes. And we need to hold this until we need it, so that's my motion on 30.
Second.
Open the vote.
The vote is open.
This item is held in committee with 5 yeses, 0 noes. All right. Item number 31 is 21R 3657, a resolution by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee to execute the Fifth Amendment to Agreement FC 9974A, citywide demolition and asbestos abatement services with Kittsburg Construction Inc., to add funds in an amount not to exceed $148,250.00 for demolition, erosion, and sediment control services for Fire Station 28 Pavilion. On behalf of the Department of Enterprise Asset Management, all contracted work to be charged to and paid from accounts listed below and for other purposes. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
Five yeses, 0 noes. This item is favorable. Takes us to 32. It's 21R 3658, a resolution of Finance Executive Committee to correct Resolution 21R 3426, adopted by City Council on May 3rd, 2021, and approved for City Charter Section 2-403 on May 12th, 2021, deleting the incorrect task order number FC 10641J-03 and replacing it with task order number S20030 for contract FC 10641J, job order contracting services law with Kittsburg Parker Fry JV, LLC, and for other purposes. I'll make a motion to approve. Open the vote.
One moment. The vote is open.
This item is favorable. 5 yeses, 0 noes. Number 33 is 21R 3659, a resolution by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor who designee to exercise renewal number 3 of contract number FC 10008, improved city services with ATL 311 mobile application with 3DI Inc. on behalf of the Department of Customer Service for a term of 1 year effective July 18th, 2021 through July 17th, 2022, and amount not to exceed $18,000.00. All contractor work to be charged to and paid from the funding numbers listed here and for other purposes. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Open the vote.
The vote is open.
Mr. Westmoreland, you there? We might need to mark Westmoreland away. All right, item favorable. 4 yeses, 0 noes. Item number 34 is 21R 3660, a resolution by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor who designee to execute special procurement agreement SBS 1210353 Legal Research Services with West Publishing Corporation doing business as Thomas Reuters on behalf of the Department of Law pursuant to Section 2-1191.1 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances for a term of 3 years and 4 months, and amount not to exceed $339,000.00. All contractor work will be charged to and paid from the Fund Department organization and account number listed herein and for other purposes. This item does have an amendment which adds a 0 to the account number. I'll make a motion to amend.
Second.
Let's open the vote on the amendment.
The vote is open.
Westmoreland. All right, let's mark Westmoreland as away. All right, that's 4 yeses, 0 noes on the amendment. I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Open the vote on that.
The vote is open.
Westmoreland. All right, I think he got dropped. Item favorable as amended with 4 yeses and 0 noes. Takes us to our dual referred items in section L. Item number 35 is 21-0436. This is an ordinance by Councilor Jennifer and I. It's amended by Zoning Committee establishing a moratorium on the acceptance of any business license applications or for any zoning or building permit applications for new parking structures and lots for parcels zoned NC4, Cheshire Bridge Road North Neighborhood Commercial District, or NC5, Cheshire Bridge Road South Neighborhood Commercial District, and for other purposes. So this is a 180-day moratorium while we take a look at the zoning for this neighborhood commercial district. Back in regard to parking. All right, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
Westmoreland. All right, this item's favorable with 5 yeses and 0 noes. What else came out of other committees? It looks like we are down at item number 51, which is 21R 3500, a resolution by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor who designee to execute sole source agreement SS-S-1210262 E911 Viper and ESI net upgrade with AT&T Corp pursuant to Section 2-1191 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances on behalf of the Atlanta Police Department for a term of 5 years in an amount not to exceed $6,378,390.00. All contracted work shall be charged to and paid from funding numbers listed herein and for other purposes. And I believe this one has an amendment also that adds the IPRO report. So I will make a motion to amend to add the IPRO report.
Second.
Let's open the vote on that.
The vote is open.
That was 5 yeses, 0 noes. I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
The vote is open. All right. There's 5 yeses, 0 noes. This item is favorable as amended. See what else. We'll go to 54, which is 20-0382, an ordinance by Councilmember Cleta Winslow authorizing the transfer of $68,000 from the District 4 carry forward account to the Atlanta Department of Transportation for sidewalk installation on Mosley Place Southwest, between Westview Place Southwest and Chickamauga Avenue Southwest, and for other purposes. There is a substitute on this that adds transfers to and from sections for Mosley Place sidewalk funding. So the substitute is in our packet, and I'll make a motion to bring forward the substitute.
Second.
Let's vote on bringing forward the substitute.
The vote is open.
There's 5 yeses, 0 noes. The substitute is before us, so I'll make a motion to approve on substitute.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
It's favorable, 5 yeses, 0 noes. Takes us to item 55, which is 21R3557, a resolution by Councilman Marcy Collier Overstreet authorizing a donation award pursuant to the City of Atlanta Charter, Section 6-306, Appropriations for Charitable Purposes, to the United Way of Greater Atlanta in an amount not to exceed $465,000 for the purpose of funding immediate response cards, which can transfer subsidies and benefits to city residents and other cardholders. All costs to be paid from the account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. There is an amendment that updates the amount and adds fund accounts and updates language. Let me see what this Councilman Wright, did the amount change from 465?
Madam Chair, let me make sure. Yes, the total amount now is $632,500.00.
Okay. I will make a motion to make those amendments.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote on the amendments.
The vote is open.
Oh, hold on one second. My computer just shut down. Let's see, Mr. Westmoreland. All right, let's mark Westmoreland as away. So 4 yeses, 0 noes on the motion to amend. I will make a motion to approve as amended. Yes, let's open the vote. All right, this item is favorable as, oh, my screen is flipping around. Okay. All right, the vote is still open on, yes. Is the vote still open on the motion to adopt as amended?
Yes, and it's actually a motion to adopt on substitute.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you.
It was a substitute on that paper, not an amendment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, this item is favorable on substitute. All right, so the walk-in, we did Elms 24398. That's all we had in section N. In section O, items from other committees. Did item 57 come out of transportation today?
Yes, it did, and it received a favorable recommendation.
Okay, so item number 57 is 21-0406, an ordinance by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute all appropriate documents that would grant a utility easement across the real property known as 175 Lakewood Way, Atlanta, land lot 71 of District 14 of Fulton County, Georgia, to Georgia Power Company for the purpose of installing underground power distribution facilities, waiving real estate and procurement code, Article 10, Subdivision 3, Section 2-1571, 2-1572, 2-1574 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances and for other purposes. And it was favorable by transportation, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I'll second. Out of morbid curiosity, why was this a dual referral?
I don't know if it's because it's an easement across our.
No.
I don't know.
It was referred to the committee as it weighs portions of the procurement code, which falls up under the purview of the executive committee.
Okay. Oh, the procurement code. Okay. Thank you. Second.
All right. Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
Item's favorable, 5 yeses, 0 no's. Item number 58, 21-0407, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or designee to amend the lease agreement with the Retail Property Trust, a Massachusetts business trust, for approximately 1,797 square feet of office space located at 3393 Peachtree Road, Suite 2016B, Lenox Mall, Atlanta, Georgia, for the Department of Police Zone 2 mini precinct for a 3-year term commencing retroactively on January 1st, 2021 and ending on December 31st, 2023, authorizing a lease rate not to exceed $1 per year, waiving Article 10, Section 2-1546 of the Procurement Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, authorizing the expenditure to be charged to and paid from 1001 General Fund 240406 APD Police Precinct Zone 2, 5223103 Building Rental or Lease Services, 3223000 Patrol, and for other purposes. Mr. Shook, this is in your neck of the woods, right?
Move approval.
All right. I'm happy to second that. Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
This item is favorable. 5 yeses, 0 no's. That takes us to the end of our legislative agenda.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilmember Shepherd.
This is Councilmember Shepherd. Ms. Santana, can you add someone on item number 57? That is in my district, and I think I know what that is, but I'm not sure. They didn't talk to me about it, but I believe I know what it is. So can you have somebody from that department call me and reach out to me on that, please?
Yes, Councilmember, I will.
Thank you.
All right. That is it. As a reminder, the city observes the 4th of July. Next Monday is a city holiday, so our regularly scheduled council meeting will be on Tuesday, July 6th at 1 p.m. instead of Monday, July 5th. At least that's what I have on my calendar. Is that, hold on 1 minute. I'm getting the message. We need to do one more legislative item. Councilmember Shepherd, did you have a paper that we needed to move? Ms. Kempson Wright is telling me there was something that needed to be referred out of committee.
Yes, Councilor. Item 53, 2100-367, and I apologize, I did not have it on your notes or on the committee handout form.
Item number 53?
Yes, we're going to be referring that, and Councilmember Shepherd may speak to it also, to public safety, if I'm correct.
Okay. So 2100-0367, an ordinance by Councilmember Joyce M. Shepherd as amended by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute a ground lease with the Atlanta Police Foundation for all or a portion of the property located at land lot 83 of the 15th District, DeKalb County, Georgia, tax parcel ID 1508201-001 and known as 561 Key Road, Southeast Atlanta, all or a portion of the property located at land lot 81 of the 15th District, DeKalb County, Georgia, tax parcel ID 15081-08001 and known as 3054 Fayetteville Road, Atlanta, and all or a portion of the property located at land lot 81 of the 15th District, DeKalb County, Georgia, tax parcel ID 15081-08002 and known as 3184 Fayetteville Road, Atlanta, collectively the property for a lease term not to exceed 50 years at an annual ground rental rate in the amount of $10.00 in consideration of performing certain development on the property, waiving the competitive procurement provisions contained in Chapter 2, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City Code of Ordinances, all amounts to be deposited in the accounts listed herein and for other purposes. So, Councilmember Shepherd, you'd like this to go to public safety and then it will come back to finance exec after public safety?
That's correct. Because I'm getting a lot of questions and calls from a public safety perspective, this particular piece of legislation. So even though it's a financial thing, but it's also, as you all know, has become controversial. So I'm getting a lot of questions and concerns about it. So I would like for it to come to public safety for a report and then come back to finance.
Okay, you want to make that motion?
Motion to refer to the Public Safety Committee.
All right, I will second that. And Ms. Kempson Wright, do we need to say without any recommendation, or it's just a motion to refer?
It's just a motion to refer.
Okay, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
Shook, aye.
All right, that is 5 yeses, 0 no's. That paper is going to go to public safety for discussion there, and then it will come back to finance exec eventually.
Thank you, Ms. Kempson and Ms. I. Thank you.
Yep. All right, so as I was saying, we are not on Monday as we are regularly scheduled because it is a city holiday. We will be having our full council meeting Tuesday, July 6th at 1 p.m. And then the second meeting in July, we will have a recess. So unless anybody else has anything for the good of the order, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. So thank you, everybody, and have a good rest of your week.